Are you aware of what you have decided to look at with me in this new series that we intend to do in regard to the transformation of your own self-identity? This is A Course in Miracles from a single self-certainty expressed as Jesus of Nazareth. He represents to us an idea of a single whole mind in perfect consort with the universe. The particulars of the human condition that we have heretofore represented to each other, all, without exception, contain elements of self-concept. Say to me, I know who I am. Yes. The particulars of this world in the establishment of objective associations of the body perforce inform you of the necessity to correspond to a self-identity that asserts its capacity to represent itself within a framework of the body. In a particular sense, it's a reflection of light imagery based on a definition of identity that is confirmed by the objective world that appears to be all around you. Are you listening to me now there? You in self-identity? The simple truth of the matter is that the self-identity that you are representing to the world and the one that the world is giving back to you are nothing but the particulars of your own need to establish a self-concept that justifies a relationship with yourself somewhere in space-time. What we're going to attempt to do today, if you will share with me the effects of conversion that are possible in the reaches of the power of individual conceptual mind to change its idea about itself in relationship to what it is already put out there. The expansion of the association of your own self-identity will be enhanced to the extent that you'll laugh at the idea that that little self-containment really was who you are. The simple fact of the matter, and this from our Savior Jesus, is you're whole and perfect as you were created. It's actually not open to discussion. But if you wish to discuss it with me, I will present to you evidence that I have gained through an enlightening procedure of the practice of the release of my own self-identity. And in that certainty has emerged a correspondence that will give us recognition of each other within a new frame, within a new continuity of reality. Let's look real quickly at Salvation's keynote. What does it say? What is this keynote? What is this sounding of an idea? Listen. All things I think I see reflect ideas. What I see reflects a process in my mind, which starts with my idea of what I want. From there, the mind makes up an image of the thing the mind desires, judges valuable, and therefore seeks to find. These images are then projected outward, looked upon, esteemed as real and guarded as one's own. From insane wishes comes an insane world. From judgment comes a world condemned. Are you listening? And from forgiving thoughts, a gentle world comes forth with mercy for the Holy Son of God to offer him a kindly home where he can rest a while before he journeys on and help his brothers walk ahead with him and find the way to heaven and to God. Here's our prayer. Our Father, your ideas reflect the truth, and mine, apart from yours, but make up dreams. Let me behold what only yours reflect, for yours and yours alone establish my truth. So, we have an idea of our mind, of a containment of our association with our self-identities that is then verified by the objective world that appears to be out there. The offering that I'm presenting to you in this time and at this place of your established self-identity is to present to you in the reflections of your own mind a predetermination of who you really are within the entire context of this continuum of time, with no need for you at all to identify the process that you will undergo in the destiny of the entirety of who you are, in the search for the reality that will now be present with you. Why is that true? Listen carefully. Time itself, the thought process contained within the continuity of your conceptual mind, is not sequential. The necessity for you to identify yourself as that entity of consciousness self-assertion based on the body identity is a determination on your part to live in the fabric of your own self-identity, as justified by this little hovel of dark form which constitutes this world, and let your reality be pitifully represented by the containment of that little dark idea about who you are. The concept of the self that has been established by you individually within the containment of your own mind has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with who you really are. Look with me. There's a perspective of correspondence of light that I am offering you in the particulars of the recognition of a new continuity of time that really doesn't have anything to do with the concept at all. Want to practice that with me for a minute? If you check the record of my historic particulars in regard to this body and the formulation of this continuum, perhaps you'll discover to your surprise that I, by my birth certificate, appear to be a 75-year-old body identity inhabiting the particulars of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen within a dark mass form destined to be terminated in ideas of conceptual relationships based on the self-concept that has been formulated for me by this world. Are you ready? It's not true. It's possible for me to show you directly how to reformulate the ideas contained within the fabric of your own self-identity through a miracle process. And I'll read you the principle of that miracle. A catalytic re-identity of light energy that will break up your erroneous thought concepts and reassociate them into broader and broader ranges of your true identity. The truth of the matter is, I was born in an illuminate factor based on a tremendous devastation. Born again, as Jesus would reflect it, July 4th, 1979. Since this is 2001, that would make me 22 years old. I intend to be 22 years old in the association I have with you, whether you like it or not. Your objection to the age in which I am determined to give myself to represent the power and vitality of my mind to be who I am, your objection to it concerned me not in the slightest. Go ahead and object to it. All you could possibly be objecting to is your own determination to hold me in a fabric of our continuity of sequential time in order to define me as a body. Okay? The fundamental teachings of this Course in Miracles through Jesus is that you're not a body.